Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I am your host, Doug, here with your video blog for March 26th, 2014. We'll head to Major League Baseball spring training with some big news about some pitching injuries. The Yankees solidify their fifth starter spot as well. But first I want to get to the Sweet 16 previews for tomorrow night's action. We got 4 games going on. The South region and the West region will be decided tomorrow night. And first we're going to head on down to the South region. The South region will be playing in Memphis. A good arena there for sure. Going to be some good matchups as well. Our first matchup we're going to see is number 11 Dayton, who beat Ohio State and then Syracuse to get to the Sweet 16, taking on number 10 Stanford, who took down New Mexico and then Kansas. This game will tip at 7:15. I think it's going to be a physical game. Could be very low scoring. We've seen Dayton play some ugly basketball in their first 2 games. And when you look at key matchups in this one, I'm looking at 2 guys. I'm looking at Hustis, and I'm looking at Oliver. Hustis versus Oliver. It's going to be interesting if they play man-to-man. Dayton does. I don't know what they're going to do. Josh Hustis, though, was put on their best player of Kansas, Andrew Wiggins, and shut him down in the last game. Hustis could do that again, and I think with the key to this game is going to be, it's going to be a tight game throughout, and it's going to come down to who can knock down the threes. We've seen Dayton in the last game v. Sanford knock down some big threes late in the game against Syracuse. Syracuse couldn't stick their threes, but I think it's going to come down to this, and I think I like John Gage on the three-point line for Stanford. I like Stanford down low, and I think Stanford will get this done, and Johnny Dawkins is going on to the Elite 8. In the late game there, we got number 4 UCLA versus number 1 Florida. This game's set to tip around 9:45. I'm hoping it gets pushed a little bit so I can catch the end of it when I get home. I think it's going to be an interesting game. UCLA likes to get up and down the floor. Florida can, but they really like to control tempo. I think it's going to be a high-scoring versus low-scoring tempo kind of game. I think the key matchup is going to be whoever tries to guard Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson, clearly UCLA's best player. I don't know if we'll see Wilbekin. I don't know if we'll see Frazier. I don't know who they're going to put on him. But I think what it's going to come down to in this game is going to be the guard play and rebounding. And both of them, I think, have to go to Florida. I like Scotty Wilbekin. He played big in that game against Pittsburgh down the stretch. I think he scored 11 points in a row one time in the second half. And Patrick Young rebounding the ball for Florida makes them a legitimate national title contender, and I think this team will win the national title. And Florida is my pick to win this one, as they will move on to the Elite 8 with Stanford. All right, the other region we'll get to right now, we're going to the West Regional. These games will be played in Anaheim. Big advantage for Arizona and San Diego State, I do believe. Baylor, though, they'll be going out there. Baylor, number 6, taking on number 2, Wisconsin. Baylor beat Nebraska and then blew out Creighton. Wisconsin took care of American, and then they beat the Oregon Ducks, okay? This game will start at 7:47. I think it'll be a high-scoring affair for sure. 2 teams that like to get up and down the floor, shoot the 3-ball well. We saw Baylor shoot 60% from 3 in that win over Creighton. And I think the big matchup is going to be the bigs versus the bigs. Decker Brust versus Rico Gathers, Corey Jefferson. I like Isaiah Austin as well. I like Baylor in this one, but the key is, can Baylor get enough stops? I don't think Wisconsin can stop Baylor. I think Baylor can get some stops with their length and their size. Kenny Cherry's playing good for Baylor. So I got Baylor moving on to the Elite 8 out of this region as well. And the final game, the nightcap there, the late game, San Diego State, number 4 versus number 1 Arizona. San Diego State took down New Mexico State in their first game, and then they got past a good, I guess a good North Dakota State team in the round of 32. Arizona, they took care of Weber State, and they went on to take care of Gonzaga. This is going to be a low-scoring defensive battle. The key matchup to watch has to be Xavier Thames, Nick Johnson, 2 elite point guards, but I think Nick Johnson is going to be able to D-up Thames a little bit more. So I like Arizona in this one. They have better bigs with Aaron Gordon, Starzewski. They're more athletic. Gordon's way more athletic. I like T.J. McConnell to kind of handle the ball as well, so I'm taking Arizona in this one. So this sets up my 2 Elite 8 matchups of Stanford and Florida versus Baylor and Wisconsin, okay? So Florida really getting an easy road to the Final Four for sure. We'll come back on Saturday and break down those two matchups, as that'll be our Elite Eight special on Saturday. I'll talk about that in a minute. All right, let's head to spring training now. Some big injury news from the Rangers. Still just struggling with injuries. They lost Profar. They've lost Holland. They've just lost player after player. They traded Kinsler. They had Fielder. They got Chu. Giovanni Soto's hurt. Yu Darvish will miss his opening day start. He has back problems. He's going to see a back specialist today, and they'll have more word on that. Not good news there for the Rangers. And Patrick Corbin, the Diamondbacks pitcher, will have season-ending surgery, so he's going to miss the end of the season. Likely could have Tommy John surgery as well. And the big news out of Yankees camp as we head there, the Yankees pick Michael Pineda for the 5th spot in the rotation. I'm not surprised. I said from the start of spring training, if Michael Pineda is healthy, he will be in that rotation, and he has shown that he's just not healthy. This guy's on a mission. He pitched well in Seattle the 1 year he pitched. I believe he's 12-12. He is solid. He can get it done. His spring training stats: 2-1, 1.20 ERA, 15 innings pitched, 16 Ks, and a walk. And this, I know everybody talks about the Rays rotation with Archer and Moore and just good, solid pitchers. Price at the top of that one, Cobb. They're going to be hurt to start. So I think going into the season, the Yankees could have the best rotation on paper for sure. You got Sabathia at the top. He's a 20-game winner. Kuroda can win you 17. Nova's shown that he can win you 15 games. Masahiro Tanaka, a big free agent coming in. And Michael Pineda has a huge upside right now. So I think this is a good rotation and could be a top rotation in Major League Baseball by the end of the year if all is said and done. And this could make the Yankees a legitimate playoff contender if they can get there, because they've always struggled to have the pitching. They will have the pitching this year. They have good pitching in the bullpen, too. They're going to have Adam Warren, Fidel Nuno, and possibly David Phelps in the bullpen to start the year. And Dylan Betances has shown that he can pitch in that bullpen as well. So it's going to be exciting to see what the Yankees do with all this pitching that they have, if everybody can stay healthy. All right, so Friday, I'll be back with the other half of the Sweet 16. We'll break down the East and the Midwest regions. I'll pick NASCAR at Martinsville. I'm 2-3 on the year. I'm going to have a surprising pick for you on Friday, as I will pick the winner, and it will be a 6th different winner in NASCAR for the first time in quite a while. We'll also go to Major League Baseball spring training. I'm going to give you my World Series prediction as well, so tune in for that. Always remember to follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. We're going to be back on Saturday as well with a special Elite 8 version of the blog. It's going to be great. We'll break down the Elite 8 matchups and let you know who will be punching their ticket to Dallas. Also remember to comment, leave me a question, subscribe to my page on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I'll be back on Friday. Have a good rest of the week.